Hi, I'm filming this little update to show you where we are with the progress of Web Access Pro, and I'm testing out the latest version of the code, and we can see we're basically at our final stages. We are just doing some tests with different websites to see that it's showing what is and is not accessible, and we're testing a wide range of websites to see what kind of analysis comes up using the Chrome extension. And we can see that a majority of the errors for many websites have to do with color contrast, which is a common issue where the color that has been chosen for the design is not of adequate contrast for someone who has low vision. But you can see that Web Access Pro is able to come up with a summary of errors. And we've fixed the features section where the app will note features that are accessible and showing where we've done things that are correct, in addition to showing things that are problems for accessibility. We've also added a feature where you can disable the CSS, which is responsible for adding the styling. So you can look at just the HTML and how it would display without any styling, which can sometimes be useful to understand the structure of a website. With the structure feature, you're able to see exactly, what sections are included in your website, whether it's a header, footer, a section, an article, a navigation. And in addition to the summary features, you're also given a detailed view that also shows, where the code needs remediation. And in many cases, you're able to view directly that element by hitting the View Element button. But we want to look at how our app is working on different websites to see if it's tagging the right things, if it's giving the right information. We see that color contrast is an issue with many sites. We also want to look at the presence of alternative text. And while these two images are getting tagged for not having alternative text, you also have to consider whether an image is decorative only, meaning it has nothing to do with the content, is there for decoration. In that situation, you don't always need to have alternative text for an image that is solely a background image and does not provide any content at all. This particular website, the language isn't declared, which is a big issue with accessibility. It's important to declare the language of your website. And then this website has a lot of issues with missing alternative text that need to be fixed. And then if we go to the site that we did a deep dive on, looking at accessibility, we see the remediated version. We were able to reduce the amount of errors from close to 400 to 124. And the remaining errors have to do with a JavaScript that we were unable to fix, because if we tried to alter the JavaScript in the way that was suggested, the script breaks down. And that issue is that sometimes you have things that are class attributes versus ID attributes, and typically ID attributes are things that only exist once, and the accessibility check was flagging that as a problem. But when we tried to change those ID attributes to class attributes, it was breaking the code. So other than that issue, we were able to fix all the other issues that were on this site. We can look back at how it was before, where it had about, like I said, close to 400 errors. A lot of them were related to color contrast, where this gray color was a little bit too light against a white background to be seen well for someone who has low vision. So we were able to fix that issue, which was responsible for many of the errors that were being noted on the site. And again, we can test the feature that just removes the styling, and you can see when you disable and enable the CSS how different the website is. So what we're doing here is just basically doing some last-minute checks on the code and basic troubleshooting, because we do want to release the Chrome extension with as few errors as possible. Obviously, there still may be things that people will notice once we release it, but we want to make sure that we have a lot of the basic features down. And I want to thank you for supporting this project, and just wanted to send you this update to let you know that we're close, and because I know that everybody is being very patient. And I think we're probably on track for release prior to the end of the month. We do have to go through a process where the app needs to go through the approval process through the Google Chrome store. And of course, that type of process is unpredictable in terms of time. So of course, we're hoping that we'll get through the process quickly and it won't delay the release, but that is an issue where it's hard to predict how long that will take. But we are in the final stages of code testing. We think we have a lot of the features down, and we are excited for the upcoming release. You should be hearing from us soon on an exact launch date, and thank you again for your patience.